Let's start this thing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Bev's Video Kingdom. We are here for the much anticipated draft. So the category that we chose this week is most memorable movie death. Now there was some talk in the chat about what kind of qualifiers we were going to put on this, and we decided to put none. And so Brad and I were just discussing how that pretty much narrows it down to every movie that's ever been made.
Yeah, we've got a wide range, but I think our judge is up to it. So.
A nice tight 103 movies.
It was like literally 20,000 picks that could possibly be picked, but somehow we're going to try and put them and rank them in order of awesomeness and memorableness. And we're going to send our draft judge, Mr. Scotch Beck, we're going to send him off to the silent, what did you call it, Brad?
The soundproof chamber.
The soundproof chamber.
Get out of here, get.
30.
Skit.
And, you know, everybody knows that Nate's not here. The movie scared him too badly. The not very scary thriller.
It scared the poop out of his butt.
Yeah, and he's on the toilet constantly right now.
The poop still hasn't stopped. It's like that scene in Dumb and Dumber where Jeff Daniels runs into the bathroom and actually like gets airborne.
Yep.
He's upper deckering his own home.
Exactly. So we're just wading through liquidy poop over here, and we are going to get to it. Brad, do we have a draft topic?
Yeah, man, I got out my ColecoVision and I rewired it, and you know what? It tossed out a draft order, and it looks like this. With the first pick will be myself. Second pick, right stuck between me and Nick, is Zach.
Oh, I'm like the cream in the Oreo.
You're like the
You
nug.
are
The
snug
nug
right
in the
between
poop.
us. We're just gonna be reaching around you constantly.
I'm like the corn in the
Like
corn in the turd.
kernel in the turd.
So me, Zach, Nick. It's a 3-person draft, and we're going to go 6 full rounds of action.
6 rounds. That's 18 deaths.
You all need to stretch out there. Don't want you to tear anything.
Everybody get ready. Everybody, I think so. Brad has first pick. Brad has how many wins?
To this date, I have 4 wins.
Okay, so 3.5 wins. Nick, how many wins do you have?
2
2, 1.5 wins.
full
All right.
wins.
All right, so I've got a half a win under my belt.
You've got a full win, man. We give you the props. Accept it.
Just take it, bro.
I just my pride won't let me take the other half.
That's fine. You get a half. I got a full. Brad's got a full. Fine. Fine. Brad's got a half win. You heard it here first, folks. There is such thing as
Zach
a half.
always
of a win.
handicapping himself. That's
So
terrible.
So Nate's South American Montezuma's Revenge is kind of giving you a big advantage right now in the final standings, Brad.
I don't know. Yeah, well, we'll see. He's not here to defend his title from last week, so we'll see how it goes.
I think if he didn't have an inside-out butthole right now, he'd be chomping at the bit to pick some deaths. All right, so.
All right, well, we're going to lead this thing off, and you know what? There's one that stands out to me, and I saw this movie probably like 13 or 14 years old, and it just stuck. It sticks with you. It's on the cover of the actual movie, so it's like when it's memorable enough that they're just like, fuck it, we're sticking it on the cover. I'm going to go with Elias Death from Platoon.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
He's basically murdered once in the movie, spoilers, and then of course he has the final scene as he's running out of the jungle, and it's got the adagio for strings playing, and he's just trying to get away, and he gets gunned down in just a hail of bullets, and it's emotional, it's sad. You've got what's his name? No.
Sheen?
You've got Sheen sitting in the chopper just hoping that he can get him out, but it does not happen, and it's a very unfortunate emotional death. So
that's a great one. I think this is a unique draft where there is, no way, shape, or form a clear one of one. Even the top 10 are just so completely debatable depending on what mood you're in and where you want to go with it. Yep. It's I don't think anybody's going to fault you for that pick. I like it. I just didn't even make my list.
This is going to be the interesting thing about this draft. It's going to be very, very subjective, and I think our audience is going to have a lot of differing opinions on who wins. And
this is a huge one to have the opportunity to pander to Scott, though. This is a huge one to be like, I know Scott likes this movie.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's ever seen it. I hope he's seen it. I feel like he's going to do a lot of YouTube, though. I think
it's going to be the one YouTube clip from Platoon. That's going to be the main one, number one.
Yeah, we shall see.
And I want to keep you guys on your toes because one more thing. This draft is going to be so fucking spoiler filled.
Oh,
just so everybody knows.
Good alert.
Good call.
If you are one of those people that is like, oh man, I haven't seen that movie from 1978 that Brad just spoiled it for me. There's no way that I'm going to be able to go on with my life. This might be an episode that you skip. Maybe you just, I don't know. I struggle with some of these because some of my picks are movies that I want to make the guys watch, and I'm going to try my best not to be spoilery. All right, so it's time for the cream in the middle of the Oreo here. We are going to go. My picks are going to be pretty focused on stuff that came out when I was younger and was really memorable to me. There's a couple that I could go with for number one, but I think my number one and one of the most, just kind of got me. This is probably going to lose me the draft in the first round. My wife's going to be upset. She's already upset with me. But I'm going to go Ben.
Yeah, did you get punished for last one?
Oh, dude, I got reprimanded today. She goes, you weren't even trying. That's what she told me. You weren't even trying.
You didn't even. You gotta want it.
She gave you a lot of pump up last week. She tried to give you some inspiration, and it didn't work.
Rules with an iron fist, that lady. All right, I'm gonna go with Ben Kenobi in Star Wars: A New Hope because he was gonna be Luke's mentor, right? I mean, he wasn't even the Australian actor yet. What's his name? Who's the guy that plays Obi-Wan later?
Oh, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
He wasn't even him yet.
That was.
I don't know if he's Australian either. I think he's British.
That was a brutal one for me personally. I don't know if it's my one of one, but in the spirit of the draft, because I know some of these are not going to get picked, I'm gonna wait on some of them. So that's my first pick.
Well, I like this pick too, but it also brings up an issue of those characters that die, but they're still kind of there. Like, I mean, he immediately said, "Run, Luke." I mean, he's immediately basically alive.
That was all in Luke's head.
So he's just psychotic. I was thinking about that. I was looking at my list. I was like, do I want to pick people that die and then they come back, or do I want to pick people that are just dead? So I don't know.
Star Wars was so huge for me in most of my adolescence. That was a big death for me.
Oh, it's a great scene when Darth goes there and kind of taps on the robes. Like, what the hell?
He's just like swirls them around. What you got, Nick?
Okay, so I got two.
You get two in a row.
All right, I'm going for my number one. So made before I was born, but with a childhood of watching graphic movies at a young age, Predator, and the movie that I'm going to be going with is Jaws. So Quint's death in Jaws, something that is I'll still watch it. I'll still watch Jaws. And everyone knows the moment I'm talking about the screaming of Quint, first of all, and then when Jaws just sinks down into his friggin' gut and the blood kind of gushing out of his mouth, and then him getting dragged down. And it sparked one of the careers of one of the best directors, we know, and still, today.
When Jawses him.
Well, and you're rooting for Quint. You're rooting for Quint because
just keep kicking, kick.
He's the badass that seems like he actually can take down the shark, and then all of a sudden
jab the eyeball. Give him the Phoenix Eye.
Oh, that lovable drunk.
So Quint, Jaws, that's my first pick, and then on the wraparound, I'm staying in a galaxy far, far away, but I'm going Darth Vader, the death of Darth Vader, and the helmet comes off, and it's Anthony Hopkins. I'm kidding. So sorry, I apologize. I don't apologize.
For a second, I had to think about it. I was like, oh shit, is it Anthony Hopkins?
You know what? Star Wars fans have a damn sense of humor.
It was it was actually Larry Flint under there. They took his helmet off and it was just Larry Flint and he was like,
I believe it was Bane. I believe last time I checked it was Bane.
So quick aside, we hired an outside engineer at work from the East Coast, and he flew out to California, and the guy showed up, and he came in, and he was like, I mean, this is ageist, but he was like 80 something years old and not in great shape, and had like an oxygen tank and could barely make it around. And he looked, and he left the room, and I was like, that guy looks exactly like Darth Vader when they take the mask off of him.
He's been engineering some Death Stars.
I hope that guy doesn't listen to the pod. 84-year-old guys on oxygen tanks are kind of our market, our target demo.
When we created this pod, we were like, man, all those old guys with oxygen tanks, they need something to listen to.
Well, I mean, Darth was kind of on an oxygen tank too, wasn't he? All right, is it my pick?
No, it's going to be... it is. You're in the middle. Zach in the middle.
I'm going to go with one that when I saw it in the theater, it wasn't opening night, but there wasn't social media like there is now, so I didn't have this one spoiled for me. I'm going to go with the murder of Drew Barrymore in the first 3 minutes of Scream, because it was just such a big surprise when you didn't know it was going to happen, and she was a big star, and she may have been like married to Tom Green or someone really famous at the time.
I don't know if that was Tom Green time, but yeah, the fact that she was with Tom Green for a while, that's a little wild. I think she was with them when they did Charlie's Angels, because he's in the movie Charlie's Angels.
That's a good.
He just seduced her with he had like a hot dog.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see Freddy Got Fingered?
I have the DVD.
Oh my god! I was the biggest Tom Green fan. I went to the theater and we went to see Freddy Got Fingered, and my wife, like halfway through the first 20 minutes, she wasn't even my wife at the time, and she was like, "What the fuck are we watching?"
See, we talked last week about a Tim and Eric $1 billion movie, and we're in the same vein when we're talking about Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a strange watch.
So it's real fucking weird.
But it's got John C. Reilly as a character called Taquito, and I mean, he's in most of the movies, so if John C. Reilly's in it, you know it's got to be good.
I'm in for all the John C. Reilly. All right, Brad, what you got?
Oh my Lord, there's like 17 I want to go with.
There's too many.
And I just don't feel like they're like the order.
Oh, I decided to frame it in my head on like what like was memorable to me as a movie watcher.
That's a good call, and I think I'm going to go that way because my next death saw this in the theater, and it's one of those things that you're watching a Spielberg movie again. We're going back to Spielberg, and in Saving Private Ryan, you get this band of characters, and they're all together, and I mean a few of them die here and there. What's his name? Vin Diesel gets shot really early.
Yeah. What about that guy that was on Cameo that got stabbed in the heart, right?
That's where we're going.
Oh, shit.
That's exactly where you thought he was going Hanks?
I don't give a shit about Hanks.
I thought you were going Hanks, bro.
No, that's not even that significant to me.
I couldn't get that out of my eyes after I watched it.
That it's one of those scenes where you're watching and you're like, oh, okay, this is intense, but yeah, somebody's going to save him or something's going to happen or he's going to get the upper hand. And the German dude just starts talking to him. Starts telling him, and then that knife just slowly starts going into his chest.
Wait.
He's saying, wait, he does not want this to happen. You're like, somebody's going to save him, right? And then, he just gets the knife straight down into his chest for a painful ass slow death. And it's intense as fuck. And
fatality
definitely sticks with you. Out of all the other deaths, that one is the one that like you think about later. You're like, oh shit, man, that was intense. So Spielberg decided to go with it. I mean, he ran with it and said, we're going to show the and then of course you have the ammo kid slinking up the stairs, and the dude walks out after he just killed him and just kind of looks at him and is like, this kid doesn't want, you don't want that smoke.
Playing Slinky.
So he walks by him. So yeah, Mellish from Saving Private Ryan.
Dang, that's good.
Interesting pick.
That's a good call.
I mean, brutal death. I like it.
All right, next. Again, I guess these childhood ones are the ones that stick out.
Yeah.
And this one, it's comedic and just gruesome and terrible all at the same time. We're talking about the 1987 classic RoboCop. When one of the main bad guys happens to crash his car into a big giant vat of toxic waste, which just in some of these movies there's always a vat of toxic waste sitting around, you know, why not?
A lot of people trying to get around environmental laws in these movies. They like box up that toxic waste.
Just put it in a big old huge pipe that's like, we'll just go like 1/8 inch thick. Don't worry about it. It's not going to break.
We're making superheroes over here. Bring on the toxic waste.
So yeah, he crashes it and he gets out of that car and he's a toxic waste mutant of just pain and suffering. And then he tries to get some help from his friend. His friend wants no part of it, and then he gets hit by a car.
The origin story of the Toxic Avenger, I believe.
Almost, except that this guy then gets hit by the car, and his head goes rolling over the top of the car. And then she has to use the windshield wipers, I think, to get the goo off.
I like the direction that you went there with all that.
Yeah, so we got, that's 2 pretty graphic, ugly deaths, and that's what we're going with.
Okay. I'm going one that... It's just super brutal. Super brutal. And we're going to go. He's allergic to bees. We're going to go Macaulay Culkin in My Girl. Just devastating loss in that movie. Which was funny because that was definitely a Bev's Video Kingdom rental for me. A lot of these are, but man, that one really got me.
Yeah, it's like a happy little go-lucky movie, and then all of a sudden, like, that happens. You're just like, shit, man.
Out of nowhere,
left
man.
turn.
I love it. What you got, Nick?
All right, I'm staying. So I'm going to put our judge in a damn tight spot because I'm going fucking classics and memorable, not necessarily graphic, even though I'm going to follow it up with a graphic and a classic graphic. But I'm staying classic, and I'm going Godfather. Fredo Corleone. Chris Pratt's. That's a Chris Pratt's Italian Mario voice. We pushed a button to get Chris Pratt's voice in there. And
Chris Pratt, you want to sponsor the pod? We're your biggest fan.
We do good impressions of you.
Come on over to our Bevs.
That was good.
So
Nick is literally full-blooded Italian, and that's his Italian
4
accent.
pieces of a pizza before I came today. Okay, so let's get graphic. Let's go to outer space again, and let's get some shit popping out of chests.
Oh,
Alien, Gilbert Kane.
That's a great pick.
It started that thing, where you would pull your T-shirt, your hands into your T-shirt, and you'd make it look, and you'd pop it out of your chest, and you'd act it out the best that you can. Maybe get some Cheerios in your mouth and spit them out.
Oh yeah. And then of course Spaceballs does the classic where the alien comes out, and then it starts doing like the little "Hello, my baby." Oh, good pick though. Yeah. I do like it. That's high up on my list.
I knew Bradley would dig that.
That was
high up
really
on my
pick.
list.
I'm upset with myself for not going with that over poor Kevin McAllister. All right. I'm going with a death that we don't even see on screen.
Ooh, sneaky.
I'm going Gwyneth Paltrow in 7. What's in the box? What's in the box?
That's good. Oh.
Yeah,
God
it's.
damn
I
it.
mean, you just get the after effect of it. You don't actually see the death, but it's definitely got an amazing scene surrounding it. That's for sure. And it's just his little speech that he's giving about
so
it.
good.
Oh, so creepy. Kevin Spacey was kind of creepy, guys.
So creepy.
How do we not
So
see,
weird.
How do we not see it coming?
Like, Kevin Spacey's so good at being creepy. He's such a good actor.
Okay, so I've got. We're halfway through for my picks. You guys got 4. I've got my 3.
You guys have such an advantage. You guys get to pick 2 at a time every time.
I just the thing is we're not going to really like step on each other's feet too much.
No, there's no way.
That doesn't seem like it.
All right, so next. This is going to be one that our judge may have not seen, or maybe it's his favorite movie of all time. I have no clue, but I don't even like this movie. But this is the only scene that stands out in it for me, and of course, I know the scene. And being a kid who grew up in the '80s, it was just epically devastating to lots of kids. Is the horse in the Neverending Story? Artax
It's on my list.
going down in the mud, and the kid Atreyu is just like, trying to talk it out and get that horse out the mud. But
Artax!
Artax!
Don't go towards the nothing, Artax!
He tries so hard, but it just does not happen. That horse says, adios.
That's devastating.
Off to the great big stable in the sky.
It has been so long since I've seen that movie, and I did not remember. I saw that in the research, but didn't even remember the scene.
Well, I have an official thing with this movie is that there's two 80s kids. There's kids that think Goonies is the better 80s movie, and there's kids that think Neverending Story. And it's very important to me which side you're on.
I definitely Neverending Story. Goonies is one of the more overrated movies.
Oh my!
I was
Lord,
Goonies.
That's so terrible.
Bro.
I'm Goonies 100%. And Zach, I could see you are a Neverending Story, but I still like you. I can put up with you for that.
I see you.
Bastian, say my name.
The kid sits down and reads a book. Like, why is that exciting? Goonies got like water slides and
Truffle
pirates
Shuffle.
and the truffle shuffle. Amazing
Sloth
things.
is pretty dope. I'll give you that. I'll give you Sloth is pretty dope.
All right, folks. My next pick is a classic. And a little hidden story on this one is that when they actually filmed the scene, they dropped him from a little bit of a height. And when they dropped him, they didn't tell him that they were going on a certain count. And so when he gets released and starts to fall, his reaction is legit.
Like Mufasa, you talking about?
Oh, I know who you're picking.
I'm going with Alan Rickman
Hans.
as Hans Gruber in Die Hard as he tries to do the little old tricky-roo, and his gun, he slips from the gun and he takes off down to the ground below.
Good stuff.
But yeah, watch his reaction. He actually, like, they dropped him at a little height, and he was surprised that they dropped him. So it's a good reaction.
I like that. That was some people's one of one. But man, I like the pick. I think you took it in the right spot.
I mean, you knew he was going to die. It's not like the bad guy's going to win, but at the same time, I mean, it was
Memorable.
Very memorable. And that just that look,
look
he
of
has as he goes down, pretty sweet.
Okay, so how many picks have I made, Bradley?
You've got 2 picks left.
Two
man.
picks left.
Two
All right,
picks.
so,
this is going quick and fast. Hard hitting right now.
We're moving. We're moving. We don't have Nate slowing us
Just
down.
like Ready or Not, bud. Doesn't fuck
Distracting the audience with his deep baritone.
giving them what they want.
Monologuing.
Pandering deep baritone.
They're
of a
fucking
voice.
talking about all his wins. They're listening to us right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I've got 2 that I could go with, but I am going to go with a shocking death. Apollo Creed in Rocky. Nobody saw that coming. Throw the damn towel, Rock! Throw the damn towel!
I say that often. We were talking about quotes last week that we say often. I say, throw the damn towel. Or I send that gif all the time when it comes to watching sports and things.
Yes.
I mean, we should make a shirt that says, I blame Rocky.
Yeah, man. And he just
just
lets
held
it go.
onto the towel.
Why do you hold on to the towel?
dick.
What are you
Apollo
doing?
made him promise, don't you dare stop this fight.
I know what he did.
But he should have. But
should have
did you
thrown
guys see
that
that
shit.
they're doing like the Rocky's director cut?
No.
They're releasing Rocky 4 back in the theaters. It's the director's cut. I believe they're taking all the scenes with the robot out and adding a bunch of like
Montages.
I think it's 7 more montages, and Dolph Lundgren gets like 3 more lines.
Hearts on Fire plays 3 times. And I'll take that. Yes,
But yeah,
please.
he's doing like a 40 extra minute release in the theater.
They added like 15 minutes of him doing like upside down sit-ups inside of a barn.
The mountain is now 7 times higher in the snow.
He climbs it in 10 minutes faster. It's 3 times as high. He climbs it 10 times.
Yep, pretty much. But yeah, interesting. They're doing like a 1-day release in the theater.
It's insane that they think that we need more Rocky. Like, haven't we been just like Rockied to death in the past like 10 years?
Pretty much.
I mean, for
More
4
steroid
years,
scenes.
but
More steroid scenes.
Actually, they have a scene where he's talking to Apollo. Hey, Apollo, you still boning that lady on the side?
They're just chopping it up.
Promoting Creed.
Oh my God.
Oh, all right. Nick, you get your final 2 picks here, man. Final 2. Make them count.
it's the final countdown.
All All right, he's in deep thought, folks. He knows this is the
People
key.
have said that they really prefer when we break out into spontaneous song on the pod.
Oh yeah,
People have said that to me.
a lot of ringtones.
More spontaneous
Lots of people.
song.
Many humans. I can't remember their names right now, but they've all told me that.
I'm in the grocery store and people just start singing things to me. I'm like, oh, you listen to the pod, yeah.
They're like, "Are you the Brad? Are you that Brad? Look at the brick brain on Brad."
It's Brett.
I did have that one moment though, where it was actually more a friend of ours, but friends with you guys in your grade level, and saw me in the store. We chatted a little bit about the pod. I felt like a superstar.
So awesome.
I've had some chats like that too.
Celeb status.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go another one, a Scorsese picture. Maybe not the one that you're thinking. This shit takes place in a cornfield.
Oh, this is the one
And
I was thinking.
When I watched it, because I have a brother, I was like, that is probably the worst way. That's one of the worst ways to die. Being beat to death by bats, watching your brother go first is like one of the worst things. And then being put into graves still alive. So that's Joe Pesci. And I don't know the other actor's name, but it's Nicky and Dominic Santoro in Casino.
Yeah, man.
That death is fucking brutal.
Well, not to mention that he's narrating the fucking movie as he gets whacked. Like
Yeah.
he's talking and also he's like, ugh.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
He's getting beat. Yeah, and then watching his brother, man, it's just
And it's
he's still breathing. He's still breathing. Come on, he's still breathing.
dude.
Leave him
Memorable.
alone.
That one stayed with. The first time you see it, you can't unwatch it.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
your mom and dad let you watch some fucked up shit.
I mean, that was later. That was
Okay.
later.
You were
know.
saying earlier how you were watching.
Well,
the
Jaws
inappropriate-
was early. I mean, Jaws was floating around the compound, the compound predator and Jaws and
Nicky. I thought that was going to be my picky. You like that rhyme?
you'd make that a button to push.
Nicky picked Nicky and stole my picky.
All right.
What you
All right.
got? Your final pick. That was a great fifth rounder right there.
Final pick. I'm going back to my top list, and I'm going Goose from freaking Top Gun. Give it to me.
It's on my
Give me
list.
give me that one on a tee. It's out there. 6th round. Goose goes 6th round.
Man, I do not envy our judge. He's in that soundproof chamber right now. He's probably screaming and yelling. 'cause we didn't give him
Watch
any
the
drinks or
canopy.
food.
Watch the canopy.
It looks exactly like. Have you guys ever if you've ever watched the series You on Netflix, the soundproof chamber that he has in the basement of the bookstore? That's exactly where we have Scott right now.
Pretty sad, kind of mean.
He's doing that horror movie thing where he scrapes his hand against the thing and his fingernail raises up, and it just makes everybody's stomach drop.
That's a beautiful pick, though, Nick. Man,
Thank
you've got a. You can actually call it. A murderer's row here.
We all got
Okay,
squads.
I've got so many picks, you guys. This is messed up. So I have my one of one that I can go with in the 6th round, but I know that he hasn't seen it, and I know that I want to make you guys watch it, so I'm not gonna say it.
Holding back.
Just in the interest of future. So I am gonna go with a crazy death that I had on VHS as a kid, and that is Dr. Bellick in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Call.
At the very end, when he melts his face off, opening up the enchanted Ark of the Covenant. I don't know what you.
Melting fucking faces.
Yeah, I mean,
enchanted.
those movies, both that and then Temple of Doom. I mean, for being PG movies or whatever, I mean, they were
He
hardcore.
rips that
for
guy's
their time.
heart out and shit. Oh my god.
They were not the most comfortable movies for young children, but I watched both of them when I was a kid. So
Oh yeah, I loved it.
100%.
I think Raiders of the Lost Ark, that scene, I used to have like legit nightmares about. I remember like having nightmares about people's faces melting and stuff.
Hence the memorableness of it.
Yeah.
And even the Last
Imprinted
Crusade. I
into
mean,
your
even though it
brain. Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
But I mean, you've
When he turns
chosen
into a
you've
skeleton,
chosen poorly,
yeah.
and yeah.
All right. Well, oh man, there's so many that I'm going to go with.
so
There's
many.
one I was going to go with just for the shits and giggles to make sure that people have seen it, even though it's not a popular movie or memorable unless you've seen the clip. But we'll talk about that in the also rans. But I'm going to go with. It is October. It's a time for scary movies and zombies and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with Night of the Living Dead, the original. Ben, the dude fights through the zombies and survives And in the end, you think all is well for Ben. He got through the night. He's
made it.
He's made it. And then he starts to kind of come out. He's a black man in the South, and these cops come rushing up, and they blast him. Just got one.
Absolutely fucking brutal.
It's a brutal, brutal ending for a movie that already was brutal, and then you get the end, and then
It does one of my favorite things that movies like that do, where they give you a whole bunch of hope and then just squash it.
and it's racist. It's just like, I got one. They're all excited about it, and they come romping in like, yeah, I got that final zombie. But it was actually the good guy. It was the main guy.
So I actually didn't know that.
So
that's
crazy.
how it.
Oh, it's terrible.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's a vicious ending. Very vicious.
gnarly.
That's a wrap, but we've got so many to talk about.
Yeah, let's
so
throw some shit out.
let's go with some of our favorites here.
How do you guys want to do it? You want to go one by one, or you want me to just peel off like 10 of them?
Groups of let's take turns. Let's go groups of 3 or 4.
All right, I'm just going to go. I won't tell you which one was my one of one, but you'll be able to tell. Charlie and Hereditary, Old Yeller and Old Yeller,
Yeah.
RDJ in Endgame, Bubba Gump in Forrest Gump, the girl in Bridge to Terabithia. What about that one, guys? Holy fuck.
Never saw it.
Oh, Nick. Rufio and Hook.
I thought we were doing 3 or 4.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I got
all fired up. All fired up. Let me go 3 or 4. Okay, let me go through my 3 or 4 pages, right? Is that what you said?
I said pages. Yeah.
Nick, what you got?
I had I had this list. Okay, so Jack from Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Leo.
I wanted to pick it and didn't go there this time. Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
No room on this door, Jack. Can't sit here.
So Leo Departed.
Yeah, dude, there's a bunch in The Departed.
Jesus. But Leo and Departed, when you first watched The Departed, when that shit happened, jaw drop to the floor. No. Not fucking Leo.
Yeah.
Ricky Baker, Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough one.
Vizzini and Princess Bride.
You had a full ride, bro.
Classic. And you could go from Princess Bride. You could go, the Count getting killed, just because that's such an intense, awesome, memorable death scene.
Yeah.
A couple that I've got. Well, let me tell my one that people have to see. So I almost picked it just for fun. If you haven't seen the clip of the Turkish movie, the English translation of this Turkish movie is called Karate Girl. There is a character that gets shot about 6 or 7 times. I think it's a revolver. She might even shoot 7 times somehow with a revolver. But it's the most intense, ridiculous, silly, stupid death scene you've ever seen in your life. So
I think you actually sent that out on the
I
group
did.
text a while
Did
back.
you watch
I
it?
do remember what you're talking about now.
And he gets shot again.
motion.
And each time he gets shot, he's just reacting. And this is like a 70s Turkish film. It's worth your 1 minute of watching. Go find the most ridiculous death scene ever on YouTube.
Like Be Real from Dolomite.
Please check. Yeah, please check it out. It's great. Scanners from the 80s, the head explode guy. I mean, the newscaster and his head explodes. That's a meme that you'll see pretty much everywhere. And then There Will Be Blood, Eli Sunday at the end. I mean, that's I drink your milkshake. Ugh. And then just decides just to beat his head in. Why not? At the bowling alley.
I say that a lot. That's one of my quotes. I drink your milkshake. I tell my kids that all the time when I drink their fucking milkshakes.
Total Recall, there's like the choking on Mars and stuff, but actually the scene that stuck out for me as a kid was Arnold's going up the escalator and this dude in front of him, like just random bystander, gets shot. And then he grabs the guy, and then for about the next 30 seconds, he uses him as a human shield. And the dude gets shot probably like 60 times. And he's even getting shot from the front, then he turns him to the back and he's using him as a shield on the other side.
I love that movie.
I feel like he does that in True Lies too.
I don't know, maybe in True Lies, but the True Lies is the Uzi going down the stairs when she drops the Uzi and it kills about 17 guys.
Oh, yeah.
As it
What
rolls
about
down the
the
stairs.
very last death on True Lies with like he shoots him with a missile?
The missile, yeah. As he
Puts
rides
him
the
on-
missile.
Yeah.
That's a classic. Boba Fett, Return of the Jedi.
Boba Fett? Boba Fett? Where?
Blind Han Solo taking out Boba Fett, which is, it's funny. I mean, Boba Fett wasn't even a character really. I mean, 2 small little parts in Empire and Return of the Jedi, but then he became this like legacy of this
You know
awesome
why, right?
uniform dude with the rocket in his
I have
back.
my theory on that.
What's that?
His uniform or his like shit was too badass. When you had the character, you were like, "This is the best character." Or
This dude's going to be a badass. How are they going to fight this dude? And then he gets his power pack turned on, and
he was my favorite action figure, dude.
For reals, absolutely. I got to say this: as much as this pod is called Pulp Fiction Redo,
Marvin,
we did not choose Marvin.
I know.
I felt like we're maybe just a little like
It's too much out. There's too much.
we're full of Pulp Fiction from the last couple pods. We've been referencing it and talking about it, so I think we just stayed away from Marvin.
You're high pulp.
What else you got?
Back to a few classics that I didn't put in there. Marion Crane from Psycho, shower scene.
Yep.
Vito Corleone at the end.
Corleone.
Heart attack in the tomato garden, the garden, vegetable garden. King Kong. Fucking King Kong, yo.
What happens to King Kong?
I don't want to spoil
Does he
it.
fall off the building?
He falls like Hans Gruber, dude.
He Hans Gruber's?
He Hans
Fuck.
Gruber.
Off the Empire State?
Was the girl holding him
that.
up by one hand? She's pretty strong.
She tried. She cliffhangered him.
Oh, that's a brutal
And that
one,
takes me
too.
right into
Cliffhanger.
What's her name? It's like a random girl name, for Cliffhanger. Yeah, I had that way down on my list.
That was shocking, though.
It was. That's a hell of a way to open a movie. That's first like 8 minutes.
It's fucking awesome.
Zach, you got any more? Yeah, I think you got.
I got a
few
bunch
pages.
more, but I got TV. I got TV shit. All mine from here on out are just brutal spoilers. So I don't want to get too into it. But one we didn't talk about that should be on the list. That is one from one of my recent faves. Is the poor gentleman in Bone Tomahawk that gets.
I've not seen this, so
my God.
I'll let you
So
guys
I won't tell you
commiserate
what happens,
on
but
your memories.
You might have to watch it for the pod one of these days.
I hope so. I would love to.
Or don't.
One more for sure. Glory. When Denzel and Matthew Broderick both get it right at the very end, like you think, oh, here's the heroic moment. They're going to save the day. And then they both get blasted. Just
Nick, what's the
No
song?
problem.
What's the song from Glory? We probably shouldn't sing it. We'll get canceled. Never mind. I just remember. Remember when we watched Glory in like 7th grade.
Yeah, I
and they
know.
sing the song in it, and we like sang the song for so long.
I was getting ready to sing the score to it just now. So
I was not sure where y'all were going with that.
at the very end, no, yeah.
All right.
MacGruber, really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
That's a
I'm just
classic.
saying.
I
Rocket
mean,
launcher
machine
off
gun.
the cliff, machine gun as he's going down. No, explosion, machine gun going down,
Then the rocket launcher.
and then pissing on his
on
his
him.
exploded body down on the
Yep.
rocks. Okay,
Well, hey, do we go ahead and invite our judge back?
let's get him.
Let's get him back
Get
in
him
here.
over here.
All righty.
California has the largest population in the United States and the site of some of the most famous true crime cases in history. But there's more than meets the eye to the crime in California. Join Sean, Jessica, and Charles on the California True Crime Podcast as they cover crime both infamous and overlooked from around our state, while looking at the deeper history that goes beyond beaches and movie stars.
And we're back. We've extracted Scotch Beck from our deprivation chamber. Is that what we're calling it?
we had to get the jaws of life, kind of like in Spinal Tap when they're trying to get him out of the little pods. Like it was.
Look,
bad.
guys. I mean, shit was weird in there. You know, it's dark, and you put a blindfold on me and
Yeah.
fucking earplugs. It's like I'm not listening.
Did you find the crackers? We threw some crackers down on the ground. Did you find those?
There was crackers.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Did you get the chastity belt off? Okay.
I'm so hungry. Crackers would have been so good.
Scott, thanks so much for coming out tonight. We are outside at the beautiful.
Beautiful.
I believe it's pronounced usable.
I'm not drunk yet. That's why I'm slurring my words. Anyways, Scott, thanks for being here tonight. We're going to just one more time plug your album.
Scotch Beck, The Ballad of Bosco Jenkins.
I love it. Scott has a very, very complicated and advanced draft judging system. So can you work us through that really quick, Scott?
So tonight I went with a few of the typical categories I like to use, and I have a couple of new ones.
Oh, I love it.
And then you guys threw me a little bit of a curveball here because I actually have a category that I didn't even use, and I'll explain that in a minute. So the first category, of course, is the Scotch Beck "Aw Yeah" factor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'll be a drop next week. I just fucked it up this week.
It's all good. So that's just the overall. I saw it. It was something that made me say, "Oh yeah." Then I have the Scotch Beck "Oh shit" factor.
Ooh, I like that.
Which is, oh shit, how the fuck did I not think of that one?
Oh, I thought that had to do with Nate's shits.
Topical.
He's still shitting. Now it's Thursday.
I know.
And yeah. So
I just shipped him some toilet paper from Amazon. So hopefully it's good.
but yeah,
Only place you can get it nowadays.
and I'll tell you, like that, I said that a lot on this. It's like, oh my God, how the hell did I not think
I like that.
of that? So then, of course, the YouTube assist on any films that I hadn't seen, which I didn't use as much as I thought I might. I had seen most of these selections. And in general, by the way, you guys picked an amazing draft.
Oh, I like that.
So the next one is called Standing O Face, which is basically, you think about it, you're watching a movie in the theater you're surrounded by people, and like there's this amazing death on the screen, and like people are like, oh, and they're like just kind of falling all over each other.
Like it.
And so it's
Like
like,
it.
or any type of reaction that you're like, holy shit, what just happened? So that's what that category is. So there's bonus points for that. Next one is, I'm not crying.
I love the teardrop category. Beautiful.
Fucking,
I'm not crying. You're crying.
yeah, exactly. Did this one tug? Because I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, well, maybe they're going to choose some movies that aren't like. First of all, I thought it was going to be like all horror movies or whatever, but like some emotional shit, and that came in very handy for some picks here.
Love it.
Of course, there's Scotchler's List, which I've been drinking Scotch, so I had a hard time pronouncing Scotchler just then. And those were my picks, and I didn't do the usual 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I just kind of gave a bunch of bonus points if it was on a list. I had a pretty big list because
Yeah,
you
it's a
start
tough
thinking
one.
about this.
Oh my God.
Very tough.
Yeah, and then so the category I did not use, and I actually created this category for Zach because I had a feeling this was his movie. It was.
Yeah.
So it's one of those. What's when you take? Is it an acronym when you have the letters
Yeah.
Yeah.
so long?
Correct.
Again, Scotch. FYFMMWT, which stands for fuck you for making me watch this. Because I figured I'd be watching some human centipede bullshit.
I didn't pick
Or-
several movies because of that factor.
Right.
The memorable word there seems like it has to be something that at least is somewhat in the mainstream consciousness. So
Right. And this was going to be the first time I ever took points off. And
Oh, that was going to be negative points.
it's
I
going to
like
be negative
that.
points.
I love it.
I'm glad about the picks I made.
Give us
now.
that acronym one more time.
FYFMMWT.
Fuck you for making me watch this. I love that.
That's beautiful.
So, dude, I had some fuck you for making me watch this picks that
I
I
knew you
didn't
would.
pick. I didn't pick on purpose.
I know.
I guarantee that
Like
Zach
Audition,
was
the Japanese
2 pages deep on
movie.
those.
I love that shit. I didn't make a bunch of picks because I knew that Nick's dick would shrivel up inside of his nutsack and it would just be it'd be super scary.
It's all under the table. You wouldn't have seen
Nate would
any of it.
Nate would be shitting himself for 7 more days.
Nate's like, I'm shitting myself and I can't see my dick.
Okay, so going through the picks again, you guys just amazing picks. Elias from Platoon, talk about an amazing emotional scene. So this is one of those scenes that not only like just people are like, holy shit, what just happened, but like the music, the adagio for strings going on in the background, like it's just such.
Oh, I love that
great-
you knew the song and you didn't even hear Brad talk about it earlier. That's
Hey.
fucking awesome.
Well, yeah.
Jesus.
Thanks for ruining the scores.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yes, I did drop Adagio for strings when I
Now
referenced this.
my results are final, so me knowing the teams doesn't
That's
affect
true.
anything
There's
at
no
this point.
Doesn't make a
at this point.
difference.
They're
You're still in
locked
last
in.
place, Brad.
Got new Zach's picks from the start.
Ben Kenobi. I mean, shit. Talk about holy crap! What just happened? Ben Kenobi sacrificed himself.
Brutal shit.
Just amazing. And that was one where, and both those somehow I didn't think of either one when I was thinking of my list. Quint from Jaws. I did think of that one, and I thought it was going to be sneaky, and I thought I'd impress people by saying, "Hey, what about Quint from Jaws?" Also, just from that movie, the beginning, that random girl swimmer.
Yes.
I mean, talk about a memorable death.
great-
The cover
Yeah.
of the book in the movie, yes.
But there's something about Quint being in the mouth of that, and just the whole thing is probably
chomp down.
Well, the first time you've
Yeah.
really seen the shark,
seeing the
like,
shark.
doing some legit damage.
But either one of those could have been correct.
And
My
you
mom-
think that he might be able to kick it like cause it's kind of slow moving. It's not like immediate, like he's not gonna like just slide right into like he's kicking for a second. Like, oh, is he just gonna like hold him off for like is Jaws
might
gonna
escape.
dip back down into the water? Like
Nope.
Amazing.
hard no.
Speaking of my boy Todd getting eaten by a great white shark,
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
but
man.
my mom has a great story about Jaws, seeing Jaws in the theater in the 70s, and she said people were throwing up in the aisles.
That's unbelievable. Can
Just
you imagine
crazy.
people throwing up from a movie?
Yeah.
Like, being in it, like I wish I could
yeah.
have been there.
So there's an amazing podcast about Jaws that and I don't know the name of it, unfortunately, but you can Google like everybody else can. But it's really cool because they talk about the whole making of the film and all the issues with it. And so each podcast starts with stories from the real events happened that kind of inspired the movie.
Right.
Yeah, so they talk about all these little, that's the part of the podcast that fucking freaks you out because the acting's crazy and the sound effects, and they go into all these like horrible like shark deaths and stuff, and it's a really interesting podcast. So I wish I would have prepared and written it down, but
It's all good.
I didn't know that there was a Jaws podcast.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's like 5 or 6 parts.
So
Okay.
really quick, I talked about it off the air, but I had a buddy that lived across the hall from me in college, and he literally we lived in Monterey, California, and off of Marina Beach and off of Reservation Road, he got attacked by a great white shark, got a huge zipper scar along his entire body of the mouth of the shark. And dude, you could not, there is zero chance. I mean, this dude, he got maybe a couple of chicks, but you throw a freaking great white shark zipper scar on your back, and this dude was cleaning up.
I was gonna say that dude's not buying a drink ever.
Dude, he's got some amazing. He's passed. R.I.P. Todd Indris. I love you, brother. But he had some amazing stories. Anyway,
All right.
Yeah.
Onward,
If you
Scotch.
how'd you get this? Oh,
he did not
surfing.
He did not die from the great white shark attack.
Great white shark tried to get me.
Fucking
I wasn't
crazy.
having that shit.
I won.
It was not my time.
Moving on to round 2, working backwards, Darth Vader. Shit, I mean, is there a more iconic character in film? And then the reveal and the whole scene. That's just an amazing pick, especially for round 2. Drew Barrymore in Scream. I couldn't think of her character name either, but I did think of her as well. And God,
You don't know her character name because I don't even think they tell you. Or Sydney.
they
I
say
think her
it.
name's
Sydney.
Sydney, maybe.
No,
No,
Sid-
that's the
Sydney.
main. That's the main character. That's Nev
That's
Campbell.
Nev Campbell.
they say
But either
it,
way-
He probably says what's your name, and she says it, but yeah, it's insignificant.
but the part about that one that's memorable to me is just the helplessness. Like her parents are there, and like she's just on, and it's so
The fact that
tough.
she's such a big star at the time,
Right.
and she dies in the first 3 minutes is you're just like, oh shit, I thought maybe she was going to be in this movie more.
Yeah. There's actually somebody that you guys didn't pick that I did. Similar type of situation where
Steven Seagal.
no.
Oh shit.
But that's a good one. The same type of thing though. Do you guys ever see a movie called Deep Blue Sea?
Yeah.
Oh
Sam
yeah, with
Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
That
See,
I
look
thought
at-
about that.
I just got everybody saying Sam Jackson rather than Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam Jackson's from the Hobbit movie.
spoiler alert. Mellish from Private Ryan. God damn, that was a tough scene to watch.
Yeah.
But super. I mean, of that whole film, that's the one I remember. So that's a great pick.
So we didn't talk about this, but the medic actually always got me when he died.
Oh, he starts
Yeah.
calling for mom and stuff.
That
Yeah.
one got
That's
me.
a tough one too.
Not as much as
Right.
Mellish, though.
Yeah, something about just the slowness
Oh, yeah.
of that knife.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about earlier.
God,
yeah.
so brutal. Okay, Emil from RoboCop, because you guys didn't even have his name. His name's Emil.
Email.
The toxic
Avenger.
death.
Yeah.
And there's literally 3 picks from this movie that are amazing.
Lots of good kills in a row.
So I mean, Mr. Kinney, the Ed 209 kill in the conference room,
so terrible.
which the extended cut of that got the movie a rated X. And they had to cut off, I forget how many, like 30 seconds of.
Oh,
like,
jeez.
It was like it wasn't. I don't think it was 30, but it was a lot of seconds of him just getting.
The best part of that scene is when somebody's like, "Call a doctor" or whatever. It's like,
Somebody call a doctor.
Don't touch him.
I don't think that's gonna help.
And then even Murphy, technically, he dies.
Murphy's scene is violent as fuck.
And that movie, that was one of those movies that, and I remember it's a very special memory for me because my brother and I went to see that together. And it was during that time when,
That was an impressionable age for you guys.
yeah. And so my brother's 5 years older than me. And this was the first night I remember, hey, I'm getting to hang out with my brother. We're going to go see a movie together.
Yeah.
So
And it was so cool. He had a 66 Mustang and, we drove to Modesto.
Dude, your brother sounds dope.
He's cool shit, man. And he's a big fan of this podcast, by the way.
He sounds even doper now.
I literally, we were working together today, and I looked down, I saw him laughing, and he had headphones on.
Oh my god!
And I asked him, "You listen to Bevs?"
Does he still
love
have the
it.
66 Mustang?
He still does.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
So anyway, but yeah, and it was like, we're going to go to the movie, and he's like, well, what do you want to see? And I was like, let's go see RoboCop. And it was funny because he's like, RoboCop, and he'd never heard of it. He had no idea. I really didn't know what it was. I saw maybe a trailer, but
You saw a preview. Yeah, exactly.
There's a metal cop that looks like he's gonna fuck shit up. You're
Right.
like, I need to see this.
and then
They're making toys of this.
that whole scene of them just shooting him up to pieces and blowing his arm off and all that shit.
so
And I was like,
awesome.
That's back when they would actually like make toys for kids based off of R-rated
Rated
movies.
R
They didn't give a
movies,
fuck.
yeah.
There's like,
Didn't give a
you
fuck.
need to buy these toys, kids. Like, fuck, I gotta go see this movie.
You're like, where's my T2 toy?
so that pick in that round was the winner of this round.
I agree.
Just because that movie was very special to me. Macaulay Culkin and My Girl, had to YouTube it. I cried a little bit.
Oh my God.
And as I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard about it, and that scored some points. I gave it more points because I've heard a lot of people talk about how brutal it was.
It's intense.
And so, like, I saw the funeral scene where she's like, "He's not wearing his glasses."
You need this glass.
Yeah. So that was pretty brutal. Got some points for that. And of course, Fredo, you broke my heart. You know,
What's his last name?
Corleone.
Corleone.
Corleone. That goes back a few episodes, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're just every episode we're in
all we
just
do.
trying to fucking insult the Italian community.
Kane from Alien. That's I'm assuming
Oh,
the guy
so
where the alien
great.
pops out.
Yeah,
of his,
you're correct.
The initial. Yeah,
That's a
talk
great
about
pick.
an iconic. I couldn't believe this pick. When I saw it, I was like, "Holy shit! How did I not think of that?" And this is round 4.
There's
Holy
too many
shit.
choices, dude.
There's way too many. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like, how did it slip to this round?
Exactly.
But how does it not? Because there's just so many great picks. But that was awesome pick. Gwyneth, the reveal in 7. Again, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Brutal.
Brutal. But I watched that movie twice in the theater because I respected it so much for not giving you what you wanted.
Oh.
You wanted a happy ending. You wanted it to be whatever. And it was so brutal, but it was just so good.
Yeah.
So that was an amazing pick. Artax, A Never Ending Story. I remember that. And God damn, I watched it again.
That's age appropriate for you,
Holy-
right?
Yeah. Well, I remember watching it
Yeah,
back in the day.
So great.
And I rewatched that clip just one more time because God, it's been so long since I've
Because
seen
you wanted
it.
to cry.
And that fucking sucks, man.
Oh, dude, it's
Jesus
terrible.
Christ. Oh, the horse. Oh,
Don't go to the nothing, Artax.
Hans Gruber is one that I just absolutely could not believe I didn't think of. my brother, actually, he texted me his picks earlier tonight,
Oh,
too.
I love that.
And he was top of his list. And I was like, holy shit, great pick, bro. Apollo Creed from Rocky. Didn't think of that one. And that was one where you're sitting in the theater going, no.
Holy
no,
shit.
No, he's
Yeah,
not dead.
exactly.
He's not dead. Throw the towel.
He was
towel,
twitching a little bit on the ground.
Pick him up. Pick him up.
He twitched a couple times.
Wake up, Carl.
The Nicky from Casino, what I love about that scene was the fact that he's fucking narrating.
We talked about that. That's so
100%.
great.
It's so good. And just in mid sentence, like, he just gets crushed with a baseball bat. And it's so brutal.
And his brother, like watching his brother.
Yeah, he's watching his own brother just getting the shit beat out of him. And yeah, so those 3 picks in that round, round 5, were all very, very, very good picks.
Agreed.
And all scored very similar. And then Goose that's one of the steals of the draft in round 6. I mean,
That was agreed.
We discussed that.
oh my
yes.
God.
100%.
Yeah, talk about one of the most tear-jerking, amazing, holy shit, what just happened? How can he be dead? And great pick. Dr. Belloc, I believe his name.
Belloc,
Belloc.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. I would have picked a different death from that film.
What was the death from that film?
So Dr. Belloc was dressed as the priest at the end,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he caught on fire and then just kind of exploded.
Oh, you're talking about the other one. His face. It showed his face melt.
I'm talking about the guy that has a face melting.
So that's not Dr. Belloc.
That's not.
Well, then
Belloc.
that's not what I picked. I picked the guy
You
that has his face
picked
melt.
the guy with the glasses, the Nazi.
Yeah, that's exactly who I'm talking about.
That's the coat hanger thing.
If you need to readjust the rankings, then you can do that. But that's who I picked.
Okay, this is the
I thought that was who I was picking.
first
He
time.
was just going face melt guy.
With the little
First time
glasses.
ever, I'm going to adjust the score by 2 points.
Yeah, thank
Right there,
Thank you, Scott.
and it doesn't affect the standings.
It's not my team.
Okay.
It's nice that you would step up for somebody
thank you.
else's team.
Thank you.
That's very
Thank you,
nice that
Zach.
you would step up for somebody else's
Give
team.
Nate an
That's-
extra point.
That's beautiful.
Belloc is the French guy who steals the idol at the beginning of the movie.
Tries to swoon.
Yeah, and tries to. Yeah.
What's
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about.
Right,
I'm talking
you-
about the
you're
very
talking about
end.
the German-
Yeah.
With a face melt, which is the choice.
Yes.
If you're going to pick something from that. So great.
Agreed.
So your score's been adjusted, but you still don't win.
We knew that.
Okay. Ben from Night of the Living Dead. That's a fucking brutal scene.
Oh, so brutal.
And I saw it coming. The minute I turned it on, I was like, he's alive and they're going to fucking... Because I haven't seen that movie. And the minute I saw it, I knew it was going to happen.
You should watch it.
I mean, I watched the whole scene and it did suck. I thought that they could have done a little bit better job with the actual... But of course, it's an old movie. And but I don't know. It definitely didn't win the round for you. So the final scores.
so quiet.
It was so close.
I can't fucking wait.
I just love that Nate can't win.
I love that I
Nate
got
can't
my
It's so awesome. He's
So are
in
you
there,
going to say the winner first?
He's like
So I'm gonna
gripping
say-
over in the toilet. His guts hurting. He's just we're like, fuck you, Nate. You can't win.
So we were talking about my brother earlier, and he made a nice suggestion, and hopefully you guys don't mind me giving him a quick shout out. But we're going to recap the teams
Oh, yeah.
after I announce the placement.
I mean, before we talk shit or after?
So
we talk
after, then we can say whose name was what picks, right? Like who picked what.
I already
That's what
forgot
people
which
wanna
team
know.
I am.
Right. So the scores were 170 to 173 to 176.
Oh, motherfucker.
That's how fucking close it was. Okay.
Wow.
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 So, and in honor of my friend Zach across the table here, who loves the movie Cabin in the Woods, as he mentioned earlier, the placement goes like this. So third place will be known as the slut who dies first.
Okay.
Okay.
That's legit.
Like many horror movies, the dirty slut usually is one that buys it early.
Don't show your titties. You gonna die.
That's team one.
All right. That is Elias from Platoon, Mellish, Saving Private Ryan, Emil from RoboCop, Artax, Neverending Story, Hans Gruber, Die Hard, and Ben, Night of the Living Dead.
God, what loser team is that?
I don't know.
We can say now, right?
I really legitimately thought I was winning this whole
I fucking love it
the whole
so
breakdown.
much.
I was just like nodding to myself. I'm like, God, I got this wrapped up.
The Ben from Night of the Living Dead.
Oh,
is
what? But you,
killed it. Yeah, Goose won that round, and that last
Goose was a beautiful pick.
huge.
That one scared
It actually hurts me that
the poop out of me.
you had Hans Gruber and Emil from RoboCop, but Mellish and Private Ryan, it was okay, but it wasn't as good as some of the other picks across the board.
Oh, wow. I thought Mellish was a standout.
Yeah.
Scott, stick to your guns.
there
Don't
was
think about
more-
it.
Again.
Tell Brad he got last place. Don't think about it.
I'm trying to handle this loss. I don't think I've ever been last.
After I do the scoring, I do
Zach,
give
what
it
do
a
I do?
once over and
What do
make
I do,
sure that
Zach?
I agree with
Because
my
there's a first time for everything.
Okay, with a score of 173, which is the token nerd, because there's always a token nerd in these horror movies that dies. Team 2.
That would be Ben Kenobi, Star Wars: A New Hope, Drew Barrymore, Scream, Macaulay Culkin, My Girl, Gwyneth Paltrow, Seven, Apollo Creed, Rocky, and the melty face guy, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I thought that was a pretty strong team. You know
It
what?
was a very strong team.
Even
I felt
fuck
like
up,
I
you-
had
you
it
finished in
after the
front of me.
draft, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. 'Cause I've
I
been
understand
crushed a
why
lot of
Nick won.
times.
But the winner,
The winner,
Team 3, had
the heroic virgin, which
Heroic
is,
Virgin.
he's a gimp and a heroic virgin who wins in the end.
I'll
It's a
fucking
great-
take it.
Multi-talented.
I'll fucking take it.
I fucking
Quint.
love the nickname Heroic Virgin for Nick.
Quint from Jaws, Darth Vader, Return of the Jedi, Fredo from Godfather, Kane from Alien, Nicky Santoro and his brother in Casino, and Goose from Top Gun.
I think
that's
Goose.
Listen-
I think
listen to
your
that
last
team.
your last two picks won it for you.
Listen to that.
But
team.
listen to it all come together. Like
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah, I think
I
the
thought on this for a
the
fucking
casino,
while.
the casino, and what was his
Goose.
last pick?
Legitimately,
And Goose.
Darth
That's a
Vader
good
doesn't
pick.
do it for me. Like it's one of those things that like he dies and they reveal it's just not that important. to me.
Now it's not.
This is coming from like the biggest Star Wars fan.
Now
I
it,
know, right?
now it's
I
not.
love Star Wars and Darth Vader's death
If
is
there
like
was a fucking Muppet death, I swear to God. Well, this
I was more
fun.
concerned about Jabba dying.
I'm gonna hear it from Nate. The fact that he wasn't here, but I can't wait.
Well, he's going to have, he's got
gonna
17
get
lawyers
asterisks.
right now
Yeah.
on the case of
Right.
like, this is protested. I am now like, I all my wins count as 2 now. He's going to say all this shit. So
I'm just excited because I might get laid because I didn't get last place. My
you
wife's
got
gonna be
second,
excited.
brother.
I
You got
know.
second.
I'm gonna be like, "What's up?
Second base,
Second place, girl.
second base, second base, second place, second base, second place. Yeah.
Now, can we all agree that if Nate was here, his one of one would probably be Jack Dawson from Titanic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fucking hilarious that you said that because I told Nate in a text message we had talked about doing this draft category and we were joking about having done this draft category before, and I completely jokingly told Nate, "Yeah, we totally did this draft before. You picked Jack from Titanic with your first pick," and he goes, "Oh yeah, I think I remember that." Which was complete bullshit. He had a moment of clarity while shitting himself where he was like, "Oh, that might have been the one I picked."
Now,
Fever dream.
Hey, Scotch, was there any deaths that you had on your list that just didn't
Oh, that's a good question.
called up here?
yeah, while I was in the isolation chamber,
While you were shitting.
yeah, I was shitting myself.
That's what
See,
we
you
call
should
the
have shit
isolation
it because the crackers were down there at the bottom. If you didn't shit, you could have eaten the crackers.
Crushed him up like sawdust and pooped in the crackers to absorb the moisture.
A couple that actually my brother sent me a list, and I'll give you his. The wood chipper scene in Fargo.
Ooh.
Fargo.
Oh shit!
I mean, talk about
We didn't even bring that up.
That
in the-
person was already dead, though.
Yeah.
well. He put the whole thing where whatever. Okay,
Sequence,
okay, Mr.
Right.
Nitpick thing.
That's what gets him.
Like it.
I don't think that's a bad pick.
That's what wins him. That's what wins him
How
drafts.
about Marianne Crane in Psycho?
Yeah.
We that was one of
about
our
that one?
also
Yeah.
ends for sure.
I wasn't here for that. Another one I mentioned, Sam Jackson, the male models in Zoolander.
That's a classic.
With a gas fight?
That was somebody we brought up back.
we
my God,
brought
we
back
brought
in the
that up
day.
last
That was
podcast.
in
We
the unrecorded podcast that we did.
I forgot about the
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
And then
Yeah, it's such a classic.
from a pulp or from a pod that was a couple weeks ago, Marvin from Pulp Fiction.
We talked about that. We kind of thought, you know what, we're kind of burnt out on Pulp Fiction, so we just stayed away.
You bring it up every podcast.
Less that we're burnt out, but I've already made the fucking
He did make a
look
reference.
at the brain on bread.
he's made a couple references this week with regards to Pulp Fiction.
That's true.
Yeah, Marvin not getting picked. That's a random one.
And then Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So those are the ones that I had.
One we didn't talk about earlier that I think we could have added is the American History X Curb Stomp.
Oh, dude,
damn.
American History Curb Stomp. What about
When he just kind of puts his teeth on in that sound.
What about-
see, that makes everybody uncomfortable.
what about Russell Crowe in Gladiator getting killed?
I had him.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah,
or
or his wife getting killed. I mean, that's
yeah, or the dude in freaking Braveheart getting killed. Like, there's so many, dude.
shit.
I mean, that's historical in a sense, so it's like not unexpected. but-
Still, I mean, I don't know if it needs to be unexpected.
I know what you mean. Freedom. I mean, that's.
I mean, freedom's
I mean, it's
historical.
fucking freedom.
That was a hot take right there.
Oh my God! Thank you so much, Scott. I love it. I just love coming here every week and knowing that I'm not going to win. It makes me really happy. Fucking
Second place, baby. You got a second.
That's serious quality in that criteria. I mean,
Yeah, oh,
if you guys
is it
don't-
serious quality,
if you
Nick?
guys, I mean, it's freedom. I mean, it's freedom.
Scott, first glance, were you like, "Oh shit, this is tight"?
Or is this not going to be
Absolutely.
close? Yeah.
Absolutely. No,
I can read between the lines.
You were like, "Oh, there's Zach."
I
This
I
one was
gotcha.
probably tougher to judge who was who.
I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
Actually, our tax from Never Ending Story kind of gave away Brad.
That's fine because I hate that movie. I
like
do not
that.
like that
But-
movie whatsoever.
Literally one of my favorite
And-
movies of all time.
And The Night of Living Dead made
You
me
thought it
think
was gonna
that
be
it was
me.
going to be you. So I
Yeah,
was like,
I like
okay,
that.
well, he's pulling out a Brad tactic by pulling out Never Ending Story. So then I was confused. And then I honestly had no clue.
If I wanted to go full Brad, I would have dropped Ellie's death from Up, which is
Oh,
the
shit. Yeah.
The old lady.
Well, that would have been great.
What about Bing Bong's death from
Bing Bong- oh, dude,
the
I
Emotions
legit-
movie?
both of those in the theater. That was like, give me the popcorn napkins because I got to wipe my eyes.
I can't
It's
believe
like-
you didn't pick Dumbledore's death either. There's a lot of
Nah,
ones that I was like,
Also,
"Brad's-
I'm not big on the Harry
Lion King
Potters.
too. Lion King.
look
I
at
mean,
the big
Oh, yeah.
brain on
Lion
Mustafa."
King,
We didn't
Mustafa
talk
could have been
about
there.
that, yeah.
Bambi's,
Mustafa could have been there.
Bambi's mom.
Oh,
Bambi,
shit.
yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, doesn't Snow White technically die in that movie?
She comes back to life.
Yeah, does that?
That's
White's
what we
a
said.
zombie?
That's why I didn't like Ben Kenobi. And Scott, we mentioned this earlier. Like Ben Kenobi, the fact that immediately after he dies, he's like, "Run, Luke." It's like, is he really dead?
He's alive in the imagination of every boy that decides to believe.
But number 2 didn't win, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You guys, thanks so much for sticking with us through all that. That was an intense draft
It
process.
was vicious.
God, man, I don't know how the GMs of these professional sports programs can get through this every year because, God, it just gets my heart pumping. So Nate's taking a shit.
Me winning made Nate shit.
He
Oh,
was
yeah.
supposed to
He
pick
got the
her.
word already.
You're
He's
going to
just-
shit.
When
You
you
realize it's shit.
Throwback to Billy Madison, the house from the movie that we watched today. All right. So Nate's taking a shit, and we skipped over him, and we're moving on to Mr. Bradley. He's going to pick our next movie. So, Brad, what are we sending these kids home to watch?
You know what? October is ending, and October is known for not just Halloween, but also Oktoberfest and a lot of good beer, drinking, merry times with friends, eating sausages and all that shit.
I love sausages.
So we're going to keep Oktoberfest going into November because we're going to go ahead and drop next week the movie, the classic, Strange Brew.
Oh, my gosh.
Beer drinking, dogs drinking beer, parents drinking beer, everybody drinking beer, a little bit of hockey, Canadian talk. We got all of that shit coming up next week. And then we're going to drop a draft on you. That's going to be the most memorable drinking scenes in film.
We're going to be drinking beer.
Oh, what? We might all need to, spend the night or something, because it might be a wild one on this record. We'll see how it goes down, but there's going to be a few bottles drink, and we might even have some special guests that know how to make some beer. So we're going to have some questions for them.
I will not be judging, but I might come just drink.
Hey,
partake.
Yeah.
Scotch Beck, you are fully welcome, and we will have a nice little party of drinking and movie talk and all sorts of good shit going.
I want to put this out into the ether. I'm nearly 40 young man, and I have never seen Strange Brew.
It makes me sad, but I'm also excited as hell because you get to watch it, and we're going to have a great time watching Strange Brew. Nick, you said you've seen parts.
Barely.
Yeah.
So I put me in the same spot with Zach.
I also want to say that I did say earlier that all I know about it is that it's a John Candy movie, and then these guys told me that he's not even fucking in the movie.
We both shut me down really quick. We said SCTV, Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, those are the gentlemen, and Zach's like, oh yeah, the Wendy's guy. We're like, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Dave Thomas, the guy that founded Wendy's.
He was an amazing actor.
He's got that beautiful redheaded daughter.
Making burgers.
Strange Brew.
But that's where we're going. That's where we'll be next week.
I love it. We see you guys back here at Canada A, and we'll see you hosers next time.
Take coffee.
Later.
Thank you guys.
Later.
I can brag your favorite podcast. The stars